Hello and welcome to the latest literary podcast. I think this might be four,
Fifth, fourth.
something. It's something along those lines.
No idea.
We have a slightly different lineup today. A very, quite a big difference. We have no Hannah, we have no Laurie, but in their place we have Alex.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
They are.
Not least because there are 4 of them and you have only 2 feet.
They are pretty big feet. I mean, I'm a size 7.
Those are revelations immediately
I
in the
know.
podcast. Revelations about the size of Alex's feet.
The public announcement.
So if you want to buy Alex shoes,
That's
No,
like,
no,
you
no.
literally you could get fans and get like they already
free
know
shoes,
now.
free
Yeah.
shoes, please. I'm poor.
Yeah.
My shoes are looking not tidy.
Yeah,
well, in that case, my bank account details are.
yeah. Previously, we've had the first one where you won was the hashtag Keep Kitty. I think this one should be hashtag Alex's feet.
Oh, please don't. They look weird.
Or shoes for Alex. Hashtag
Shoes for Alex. Shoes for Alex. It's a great
Just
cause.
an
It's
Amazon
very rewarding.
gift aid,
Would you go for the
maybe gift list?
Would you go the number 4
If
or
it's
the
wish
word
list.
4?
I'd go number 4 because it's edgy. It's different.
It's edgy and different. Like no one's doing that.
No one's done that
No
before.
one's doing that.
Not even the film number 4.
It's very new.
I always love the debate about that thing where like, oh, is it 4? Is it 4? And I'm like, it's like if it's a serious campaign, don't use like the number 4.
Yeah. Sounds like a text.
Yeah, one of the ones that happened with actually, I had you know, because obviously the general election's going on, we get like candidates like letters coming through our doors all the time.
all the
I had the one, the Eastbourne guy for Eastbourne for Labour guy. He looks about 12 for one. I can't remember his name. It's just like his all of his emails. You know, you'd expect an official email like his whole name or .a or something, or like he's with his middle name in it. It's something like. Well, Alex for Eastbourne or something like that. I can't remember what his name is. I was like, oh please! Like clearly they're never going to win a seat in Eastbourne anyway. They're miles down in the polls. But I was like,
at least make an effort.
at least make
Yeah,
an
come
effort.
on,
Don't
you
send
can
a
spare
child.
3
Yeah,
letters.
my favourite thing at the moment is you see the Green Party logos everywhere, and there's one on Lewis Road or something just stuck up a green sign. So it looks like they vote re-elect Caroline Lucas, but just says "Eat salsa." That's all it says. I was like, so Brighton.
So relevant. That middle class rebellion.
Yeah.
What,
so
of eating salsa?
No, well, yeah, but like you always see graffiti of like
Yeah,
yogurt.
I saw. Yeah, no,
There's yogurt,
swear
and then there's,
down,
like-
at the Harvester near my gym. I saw gnocchi written on the wall. I was like, no, it doesn't say gnocchi. So it's the bloody Harvester. I was like, I can't say gnocchi, and then lo and behold,
Yeah, there'll be like hummus scrawled on the pavement.
Just like yeah, boy.
Yeah, you know what's up.
Right, we should probably like finish off introducing people. We have Kitty as always, and TK.
Hello.
And I know TK's title for the Lit Society now. I've like had to go through all my paperwork like a couple of weeks ago, and I found our original sign-up forms. Everyone knows that Kitty is sous chef,
can I say?
with potentially a big step up in roles next year. Potentially.
Well, this is a controversial thing.
It's a controversial thing.
Because Kiefer is stepping down as the president
It's
of
just
the
gonna
Lit
be
Society.
weird. It's gonna be weird not having you as
I'll still be
chief.
probably doing stuff like this, like, but not like in an official capacity.
Official
Because I'm
sheriff.
doing the Bright Online. People pay attention to Bright Online next year. I will be doing that.
Okay.
The
You're gonna be like-
literary, actually just academic journal. But I think
Yeah.
I'll be doing the humanities side of it.
Oh wow.
But that is, yeah.
The two challengers are here.
Yeah.
Kitty and Alex are
I
going
don't
for the
even know. I
presidency.
don't want to compete. I don't
Well-
This is
know.
my triumphant rise to power. This is the start of the end,
Yeah.
guys.
We're gonna have an arm wrestle in the SU.
Welcome
Yeah,
to
we've
our
actually been
version of
debating this.
election
I
today.
would love to hear people's opinions on who would win in a fight, me or Alex.
You have core strength, but I have limbs.
They've just got audio to go off though. So they've got
That
you,
could
the
work.
sort of like that sort of giggly like Essex thing, and Alex has got the sort of harder Mancunian voice. I reckon that Alice has got the more like powerful voice.
I mean, powerful voice, but mine is sultry, soft, like weaves into your ears and makes
Yeah,
you vote for me.
I don't think that'd win you any fights. You might put Alex to, you know, lullaby.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I was just like
well done.
confuse her with my womanly wiles, and then pow,
I am prone to
straight in the
confusion.
chest.
Yeah. What do you think of Kitty's womanly wiles?
I think it's great.
Isn't womanly and wily?
I would say so, but I don't know whether it can be.
We
a-
could leave you guys alone.
I mean,
that's a whole different
Let-
kind of.
that's-
we need to drop
completely
Sam a
different.
text first to know whether they'd be all right with that.
Oh God. Right.
The
TK's
sexual
a-
tension in here is like amazing, and I'm sitting between
Wait, are
them.
we still recording?
Yeah, we're still going.
I thought you stopped it.
No, go on.
I legit thought we were just having a
This
conversation.
is what it's meant to be like. This. They just for the
No.
benefit.
Anyway,
of the
I'm
we
not
should-
okay with that
we
being
have a-
recorded.
We have a discussion topic, don't
I
we?
was joking. This is awful.
Alex was joking.
That was a joke.
Right.
Right.
As happens quite a lot. And so we go for TK's official title is Word Master. I've been calling you Word Meister, Word Smith, Word anything.
I
It's-
liked Wordsmith.
You wrote yourself. You wrote Word Master.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I do that? I was
Wordmaster.
drunk that day, clearly.
You were
Was it that
sober as a
day?
judge.
Depends which judge.
To be
you're
fair, we
talking
then
about.
did go and get drunk because we were like, oh, it's the new year and let's start and we'll be having fun. And I
I
was
don't
like,
remember that. Did I go?
you don't want to.
I probably went home and went to sleep. That's what I do now.
Yeah. So
Postgrad
That's your
people.
thing.
That's all you do.
we're going to start with today. We're going to do talk about lecture interviews, open white nights,
All the exciting stuff
and
that we do.
NaPoWriMo. So there's the three things that are sort of very recent for us because they've been happening over the next recently over the last few days. One thing I do want to ask them first though is like, what do you think of my blue waffle jumper? Because
I love the waffle jumpers.
I think we should just
It's a
leave it as the
statement
blue
piece.
waffle jumper and
I-
not describe
I'm-
what it is.
I am a fan of the blue waffle jumper, and I don't know if that's just because I really like the word waffle, or the fact that I do like the colour
but
blue.
you do know the ulterior
We
meaning of
like-
blue waffle, right?
The blue
No.
waffle.
The blue waffle
my
is
God.
it's
No.
a
Guys
a
at home, do not Google
female-
that.
no.
Do
you-
not
did you
Google
set that
that.
up?
vagina
Did you
after
set that
having
up?
sex too much just goes with blue and
No,
waffly
no, don't
and-
explain it. Just
Don't-
That,
Yeah.
that makes sense now.
Texture.
I get that. I get that. Right. Okay. No.
I
Now I,
think it's some
understand.
kind
I
of
can't
fungal
believe you
thing.
didn't know
But
about
I
that.
know. I'm not
I
down with the
really
kids.
thought you were making
You're
it
down
sly
with the
puns.
kids.
Do not Google it, people.
Do not.
I
Just
advise
don't-
that you should. It's a rite of passage. I've seen it. You should all see it and go over it like I did.
Have
Okay,
you
yeah,
got
but
over
we
it
know
though,
how
is
well
the
that
question.
worked out.
I'm not over it. It's too soon.
Save yourselves the grief.
Yeah. Don't Google blue waffle.
It's too
yeah, that would be the end of your.
No.
So we'll do.
Certainly don't put it into Google and then click I'm feeling lucky. Do not do that. That would be bad.
There is no luck to be found in that Google search.
There's no luck in the blue waffle.
But it is a lovely jumper.
So,
I'm a fan of the
in
jumper.
the light of that, I think your blue waffle jumper is the most attractive blue waffle I have ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's.
out of the many you have seen.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
whatever
wow.
you're into,
You
man.
fellas,
I
you
was
set
gonna
yourself
send
up for
this
that
to my
one.
grandmother.
I've already messed this up for my parents, so it's
Oh.
fine.
Please don't tell me you're actually intending to send these to your parents.
My
Send
mum,
them
my
an
mum
album.
listens to it.
Oh well, you jump.
She's at work in my old Catholic school, just like listening to the podcast. She's like, oh, it's the one called Byroning It Out, and I was like, and what was the other things? What was the thing Hannah said? Was it I'm not your bitch in brackets, like, and the ones I'm not your bitch in brackets. I was like, yes, mum. That's the one.
That was really funny. That's
This would be a good point in that case to drop in that we're all hard-working, non-drinking, teetotal virgins.
Yeah, we're just
We're
we just
pillars
noticed
of
We're
society.
professional
watching it from the
Yeah.
outside. We're just observing culture as it happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It can't
We
taint
have got
us.
a finger on the pulse, but we are full away from that business.
Yeah.
We don't associate with student life at all.
Right, can we? Moving on.
Moving on.
You look like you wanna. No.
Should we do narrow? Oh my god.
NaPoWriMo.
Yeah.
NaPoWriMo or Remo?
I'd say
Writing? Yeah.
I'd say rye.
Right. NaPoWriMo.
Yeah. It is
Just
tempting to
National
remo
Poetry
it,
Writing
but
Month.
NaPoWriMo.
yeah.
So,
NaPoWriMo.
National Poetry Writing Month. Are we all doing it now?
I
Is that
did
where you
it
do a poem a
last
day?
year,
Yeah.
but I kind of just missed the beginning
Yeah,
this year.
It's a poem a day.
Yeah. So
It's really fun.
it's yeah.
really
do it.
hard.
It's really hard. I got like
Oh.
this year. I got really annoyed with it. I got to 24, and I
Mm.
was like, it's Saturday, just gone. I was like, I can't like do this because every day I obsess about it. So I write one, and I'm editing for an hour, and then I post it. So I was like,
So
you know what? I
dedicated
just
to your
write. So I wrote 6 on Saturday and just did them. Then I was like, that's it, I'm done, finished.
It's an overachiever.
No, I was just they're not very good poems.
Oh, mine
Well,
are
this
always
is the
awful.
thing. A
Yeah.
bunch of it, like I've written, I sort of will miss out a few days and then
Yeah.
go back
Do a
and
load,
do them.
yeah.
But a bunch of mine have never seen the light of day because they're rubbish. But I've got some really good poems out
Yeah.
of it. So
Yeah, I just
I
really
think it's
enjoyed
rewarding
I
at the end
really
of it.
enjoyed the prompts
Yeah.
because there's optional prompts, and I did last year. Like you really, like some of them like really fun. Like one of them's like write a charm for something. And
It's
they-
the smelly feet one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's so stupid. I'd never have just thought of it, but it's actually quite fun to write this like 4 little rhyming poem about smelly feet.
It's quite. I think you said something yesterday at the open mic night as well about the fact that because you don't have time to sort of think of a concept and then have time to sort of digest it and sort of think of metaphors,
Yeah.
you actually end up writing quite raw stuff
Yeah.
as you do it. And it does come out, there's some stuff that you just wouldn't like read out.
Like
but
that Maya Angelou poem that I performed last night at the open
That was
mic
so good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That was like the third time I'd actually read through it out loud.
Yeah.
In like since it got written, I hadn't really looked at it. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, actually,
That's the
this is
thing.
not. This is okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No,
send
no,
it
it
off
was
into like
really
the
good.
stratosphere and never think of them again. And you're like,
Yeah, it is good because one of the things with it as well is quite a lot of the time the temptation, like with my last year stuff when we did the recording of the 30 poems, I basically completely forgot about the 30 poems, went back to them a year later and sort of read through them. I was like, oh, well, like there's some I'd liked in the 30 at the time that I didn't like anymore, but there was others that I was like, actually there's something in that.
Yeah.
And so they sort of work with it again. It's like, it's quite nice to have sort of a section of like 30 poems that you can go back to and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
it's also really handy if you know Jess Moriarty's glasses. It's like, oh God, where's my Tumblr? Rip one out.
Have you written one today? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I've written 500 words a day. Just hold on, just logging in.
Just need an internet connection.
Don't tell her
But yeah.
It's in the airwaves.
that. I know.
I
Yeah.
think she knows what we do.
Oh, she knows.
I'm sure that's what Jess does.
Jess is
Jess-
down with the kids. for
She's
sure.
terrible. She's like in creative writing class. If anyone is off sick together, she just instantly speculates that they're shagging.
She doesn't actually say that though.
Oh,
so
she does.
Does
Was
she?
it Hannah and Sean were off? Our beloved Hannah, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, isn't it convenient having a day off with your fella?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, we all love duvet days with your boyfriend." We were like, "No."
I think she just does that because she thinks that someday she's gonna hit one. Like she's gonna, and it's gonna be.
that sort of-
There was that.
Everyone's gonna go, whoa.
Oh my
That
God.
was impressive. How did you know?
There was actually one. I don't want to actually say which lecture it was, but we're in a session and we're talking about working for assignments, and she was like, she was talking about leaving things to the last minute, and she went, "Oh well, I do the same thing. I do it literally. I do it like she's like doing it like the night before. It's what she does when she's got like an official book coming out, and she's just like done the research, and then she's like, oh yeah, I really last minute, like 4 a.m. Like, she said she thinks better at 4 a.m.
Oh, so it was
So
Kate
I
was just
just-
saying how she gets up in the middle of the night, does some work, and goes back to bed again. Just like, you utilise every hour of the day. I was like, Kate, love, you need to see someone. I was like, you should be sleeping through the night.
It's that thing of like, I do quite often. I'll get into bed and I'm like, oh, it's a really good idea, but I'm just like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah, fuck it, too tired.
Yeah.
That's
When I
what
want to sleep, I
iPhone
want to
notes
sleep.
are for. You just put something, and then like,
yeah.
I do that same thing though. Like I'll be there in the night and I'll be like, well, I'm not sleeping anyway. So this kind
Yeah.
of counts as wasted time. So I should probably do some
Yeah,
work.
that's
oh,
how I
that's
feel.
so
No,
sweet.
I
Sleeping
can't.
pattern's really weird.
Yeah. It's just when I'm in
I
bed,
nap
I'm
a
just
lot.
like,
It's because you nap for 3 hours a day,
I
love.
love napping.
I can actually guarantee, as me and Alex are wonderful housemates together, bowling back in from uni at 5. Alex's bedroom's on the ground floor. I just see it.
I love napping. If anyone wakes me from my naps, I get incredibly moody. And people find it funny to wake me from my naps.
to get you moody.
I don't know. Carmen likes to do it, and it angers me. And I don't know whether I can live with her next year if she carries on doing it.
Oh, that's a statement.
Wow.
That's a recorded
I've
statement.
told her to her face.
Carmen, watch out.
I've told her that
We'll
we're
just put you on the top floor and tallest room, the tallest tower.
yeah,
You won't be
basically
disturbed.
Oh, that is-
Rapunzel up in
No one
here.
could be asked to walk up 3 flights of stairs to wake someone up.
That's the
But
one.
can you I'm one of those people. If I'm working, I can't just like do it like all in one go.
Oh, I am
No.
that person.
Really?
Yeah, if I write an essay, sit down 6 hours, crack it out, come back to it later.
It's irritatingly productive.
It's not, because it's just like, I find it really hard to pick up where I left off, like just streaming out of me. And then I
Actually, I
find it really
kind
hard
of
to
get
stop
what
and
you mean. I
start.
kind of get what you mean. You're like just kind of flowing, just go into
But the thing is with that is you
computer.
do have to go back to it a lot later.
Yeah.
Because when you've flown it out, like you can just be like, go completely off
I'm
track.
more fits than starts. Like I try and get that. I'll write like 500 in 1 hour, and then I'll spend the next 3 hours writing 50.
Yeah.
I do the
exact
just
same
completely
thing. And
zone
then you
out.
go away, and then it sort of does something in your brain, and then you come back to it.
Yeah.
And much like with creative writing, but essays.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite actually. My creative writing tends to just come like that.
Yeah. That was the thing
Yeah,
with
same.
like another month-long writing competition that you can do. It's National Novel Writing Month. Nano, right?
What?
Well, completely
National
different.
novel
in
writing.
November.
Do you remember writing a novel a day?
That's in
Yeah.
Bloody
Yeah.
hell. He
You have
was
to write a
writing
novel in a
novels
month.
every month.
Oh,
That's,
sorry then.
that's in November. It's the challenge is to write 50,000 words in a month, and that's something I did last year.
Did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
but it's
Keen
But-
know.
with 4 days left, I had 28,000 words. I literally spent a weekend like writing like 10,000 words. There's 2 days where I did 10,000 words a day. Because if you sit down and you just like go and
Nice,
and just,
Like I was
The pressure was going to help.
yeah.
Well, like, little Kitty back in Essex, so I used to write. I read Lord of the Rings and decided that I was going to write the next one. You know, ambitions. And I wrote this thing, and I used to, it would be like the weekend, and I'd just like get sucked into this little vortex and come up 20,000 words. And then I think the finished thing was like 100,000 words, and it was just like I read it now, it's
100,000
absolute
words?
drivel. Like it's so melodramatic and romantic, and like everyone's got amazing red hair and huge green eyes, and
Sounds like Game of Thrones.
then her boyfriend's
Yes.
got purple eyes and black hair. It's just like
With
I was
Actually,
sure
you know,
George
when
R.
I
R.
was
Martin
writing
did
fan
still
fiction,
Yeah,
I
did.
would
definitely
write a
nick
good
that.
long.
You should try and sell it to him for like 100 quid.
100 quid.
Yeah.
That's like
this is my precious thing.
that's £1 every 1,000 words. Is that a good
I mean,
rate?
you just told us it wasn't good. So you might as well try and get
But it's
100
still,
quid
it's
out
a
of
labour
it.
of love, like so many weekends.
I used to write
Sentimental
these
value.
epic, and I have no shame about this. I started writing, the first things I used to write were Harry Potter / fic. Like
What is slash
erotic
fic?
Harry Potter fiction,
Oh.
basically fan fiction. I'm not. Don't laugh.
I
Don't
love
look
that
at me like
I'm
that.
not laughing. I know people that have done it with One Tree Hill. So it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, it was all about Draco and Hermione, man. So much sexual
Draco is a
tension. Like,
sexy character.
The subtext is there.
People have said
um,
that. People have said that. Draco
yeah,
in general
I
is
just-
a sexy character.
Yeah,
But that is how I learned to write. Actually, I'm putting that one out there.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
No
it's,
shame.
yeah.
No shame.
it's good beginnings. It's an interesting beginning.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's always funny. I wrote my first little book when I was 11, and the fucking content of it was I was like, what was I watching on TV? It's about a girl got pregnant, guy ditched her, she got the new guy.
Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah, and then she had a baby. And the sequel, this is the sequel. Like something happened every chapter. Like, it's such an action-filled book, but like, so she gets pregnant with twins, and then her mum gets married. She's on smack, and she has a baby who's on smack, and the baby dies, and then her
Jeremy
boyfriend's in a
Kyle.
car
Yeah,
crash,
this is JK.
and then one of
Or
the
just
babies
Northern
gets
Essex.
cancer, and then that was the end.
That was actually the prefix for The Only Way is Essex. That was the
Yeah,
start.
yeah. That's how Mark. What's his name?
Mark Wright.
Yeah, that's how he got conceived.
In Kitty's book. Just kind of formed out of it.
Like, what have I done? But yeah, I also illustrated it.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I've seen your little scribblings during like lectures and stuff.
Oh, my little doodles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
my
think that's how
math,
I got to know you in first year.
my maths
actually,
teacher
he's a
used
pretty
to.
good
My mum used to work
drawer.
at my school, and he used to take my doodles. I used to draw like storyboards around the edge of my maths sheets. He used to take them, show them to my mum, and be like, "There's a story to this, but it's not good. It's not appropriate." And he's like, "But it's very interesting." And then my mum would be like, "Why are you showing me this?"
I can't. It was like a mock A-level paper or something, and I finished really early. And I started writing like this sort of word game thing in the margins, and then my teacher handed me back, and she said to me, "This gave me so much trouble," and I was like, "Oh God, was it really like that bad an essay? Like what? It was no. It was just that she was trying to complete the word game, which I was trying to make up, but it didn't actually work."
It's
It wasn't a real-
completely impossible game. So you have to piss off your teacher
I
loads.
felt really bad. She was lovely.
Oh, that's really
But
sweet.
she tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
She did try. She was one of the cleverest teachers I ever had.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Aw.
It does seem like something someone like Richard would do, I think.
I'm just obsessed with him. It's awkward.
Yeah, with just to give you a bit of context, we're probably all a bit like dazed at the moment because one, we had the open mic night last night, which
Yeah.
finished quite late.
Bloody hell.
But we had Richard in it for in his interview
Precious
today,
It was
Richard.
emotional.
and it was
Just watch
honestly.
it for the hand gestures. He clasped his hands to his chest.
I don't think
or
I
to his
can watch it
heart
for a
at one
while.
point
Yeah.
in pure ecstasy.
It's
and
just
love.
joy. He just loves what he does.
Yeah, it is. It was actually really, really quite tender. We're going to get a tear
Crying.
off Alex in a minute if we carry on.
I'm not crying. I refuse to cry.
I swear, I really thought you were going to cry after he left the room.
I thought
I
it
was emotional. Like, it was an emotional interview. His passion is so real.
It is. It was a beautiful
For
thing.
all those
actually.
Richard fans out there should definitely
Yeah.
check it
Was-
out.
I've genuinely met people in clubs, told them what course I do, and they've been like, do you have Richard this year? I remember Richard from my degree. It was fantastic.
Oh my
Richard
God,
let slip
he's
that
so
6 years
amazing.
ago. Some students set up a fan club in his name.
Yeah, I
The
told him
Richard
he had
Jenkins
We
fans.
have
Fan
to,
Club.
I think we're going to have to revive that.
I told him he
I
had
think
fans.
it's
He
just
got very
basically
uncomfortable.
called the English Literature degree at Brighton.
Yeah.
Is Richard
Yeah.
fan club?
Everyone is. It's the one thing is like it's something I'm quite proud of. Our Facebook group is like the biggest English related one in like for Brighton Uni on Facebook. But
Is it?
yeah, it's overtaken the English lit one by it's like 10 people above it now. I'm like, yes. So it
Oh,
took us
cheeky.
ages to catch it.
Yes.
We were so far behind, but like if we did a Richard Jacobs fan page, it literally had thousands in about a day. Like it
He
just
is a little bit famous.
he is.
Have you noticed
it
that
is,
other
yeah.
lecturers are a little bit bitter about it?
I
No.
don't care. I
Oh,
legit don't
some of them are.
care.
Someone's like, well, I suppose you guys all know Richard. And everyone's just like, oh my God. And she was like, yeah. And then just carried on. I was like,
Oh, we know.
Just gonna have to deal with
bitch.
it.
I was like, sour grapes.
Guy's a national treasure.
Yeah, it's the thing was when because had to make Richard wait a little bit to get things set up. He was in his office, so I went to get him, and I opened the door, and Jess just went, "Oh, I suppose you're here for your star, are you?" I was like,
Yes, is red.
"Yes."
Well, I'm looking so. I'm so. That sentence didn't work. I'm so much looking forward to interviewing Dora. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Dora seems like a fabulous
screaming
creature.
about
Yeah.
it at the moment.
I'm actually quite excited about Julie's as well. She's going to talk about the play she's written.
Oh, of course, the
And-
bombing of the Grand National.
yeah,
right?
and I watched that the sort of the reading of it in Brighton. It's really good. It was really really good. So I'm quite excited about that as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised. She's pretty cool, Julie.
Yeah. Let's see. I think Elsa signed up and Deborah as well. So like
That's nice.
we've got a set. We're gonna have like nearly 10 interviews.
I was with Julie in Bucharest, and she talked about the play a lot.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it was a bad thing. It
God,
wasn't
she
a bad
just
thing.
never stopped
No.
talking about the play.
And that's all I can
play.
say about being there in Bucharest
She
because
got smashed.
no, because we bonded and we made some secrets were shared and some promises were made. That's all I'm going to say.
That sounds like getting
That
drunk to me.
sounds so matey.
Sounds like a Heat magazine cover.
Sounds
Yeah,
like one of your mates been like, some secrets were shared and some promises were
Like
made.
an
But that's all I can
ITV
say.
2 ad. Bloody
What I'm hoping is that the
This sounds really
listeners come up
page
to me,
3
buy
to
me
me.
wine,
made in
And try
Chelsea
and
and
these
then
type
I
secrets
thing.
out.
try and get them out.
Secrets
and
were
that way I
shared.
get- That way I get booze out of it. Despite the fact, family mind, that I don't drink or do anything else that I shouldn't.
Well, you can't drink. You couldn't drink last night.
I can't drink at the moment because I'm on antibiotics.
That's
and
what I was like last open mic. It's literally
This
exactly the
bloody
same.
wisdom tooth. It's like killing
People
me.
with English, they're always getting ill. That's the
Mhm.
problem. Always on the
You're
Disease.
opposite.
pansies by nature.
Thanks for that.
I'm sorry.
I'll have you know I haven't got ill for like the last 2 years. It's fine.
Well, I thought you were going to say 2 weeks.
I'm really like, I just a non like cause related thing. I'm really getting paranoid about getting sick now because
You're going to get like 2 years worth of sickness in one go.
that and I've basically in like early August I would have worked for the company I worked for 5 years. I've still not had a sick day. It's like a really like drive thing for me. Like I've got to get to August the 3rd without taking a day off ill. And now I'm panicking.
So
Apple a day.
British.
Every time someone comes to me like they're slightly ill, I'm like, no,
That's
get
like
away.
my dad.
Just avoid all public
Yeah.
transport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And just people cough. I'm like, oh shit.
Just fuck off.
So,
But
see my dad like hold you at arms like literally like in the house. He'd be like, no, don't come in anymore. And then after he says goodnight, it's like flutters a goodnight kiss to you. It's like, don't touch me.
Diseased child, I love you, but don't.
No,
near
just
me.
don't. No, he used to be like, I remember being quite little and him holding me at the head like, no further, Catherine, no further.
The radius of
Wow.
arm's length.
And
That
he's
is-
self-employed. He's like, I can't afford to take a sick day. No one's going to take my place. And I was like, oh,
what a
Dad.
tender, loving family moment to share with us.
I know.
That'll scar a kid.
Yeah. But actually, sorry.
That's how we do in Essex.
they're odd. We're going to move on to open mic nights. As we're moving
So
backwards
we'll
in
just
time.
do it.
We've done.
What was
we've-
the phrase
we
that
have
you
all-
dropped? It was an amazing phrase.
Page versus stage.
I like that.
Well, this is the
The
thing.
page versus stage we'll do after the break
Yeah.
as a debate, but we're just talking about how people are finding performing at the
How
moment.
fabulous.
bloody
open mic nights
terrifying.
are.
Yeah, just to give you like a bit of background, Alex performed for the first time
It was
last night,
terrifying.
took advantage of the last open mic night of the year,
Mhm.
and she was great.
I was.
She was great. She
I
was
was
great.
scared shitless.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
It looks so
Did you
easy.
relax when you got up there though?
No.
It's just
Absolutely not.
People are like that. They're like, oh, it gets easier. Like I'm like on the third time. I'm just like, this is just as bad as the first. This is
Yeah.
People have been looking at you for longer by that point.
Yeah.
The thing is, poetry is a solemn activity. Like the last 2 of my nights, I've been like meant to be being funny, He's watching these blank faces like,
Are
Well,
you
that's
Your
the
not
diary
thing.
laughing?
That's the
entries
thing,
are
is if you-
hilarious.
If you catch someone's eye, it just makes... I still get nervous. I've been open micing and presenting things for like 3, 4, 5 years, 4 years, something heinous like that.
You're a pro.
Yeah.
And I
Veteran.
still get nervous every single time I have to stand in
Can't
front
tell.
of a
You
microphone.
cannot tell when you.
And it's just faking it. It's just faking
and
it.
I
and
say just
pretending.
believe you're better than everybody in the room, and then you seem to do well.
Basically, I'm
have to
gonna
actually
have
believe
to
it,
listen
but
to Eye of the
when
Tiger
you
next
walk
time.
on, you are a
Just
queen.
walk in.
Just
Oh,
like-
that
Just
is-
drop the mic,
Yeah.
leave.
We should give you like one of those like boxing dressing gowns to come
Yes.
in, like fucking flashing
I want
lights
the
and everything.
WWE belt, and also
And next
is
we
true,
have
though.
Alex Hall.
and also a white tiger that I have on a leash. So walk in with that, and I
I
make it
don't
sit
know
down next
if
to
we'll
me.
get away with that in the Hive.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be like the
There'll
way
be
you
definitely
resign
someone that
from
has that as a pet in
president
Brighton.
Yeah, fun.
with a white tiger, and
Yeah.
you just drop the mic and be like,
Peace,
"My presidency,
bitches.
bitches." Just walk off with the tiger like.
I've already won.
But-
I'm the tiger.
I was telling, because there was a girl going on who was really, really nervous.
Who's that one?
The girl with the blonde hair, the girl who did
Oh,
the diary thing,
uh,
the girl who did
Oh.
Joe Diary thing.
The
Yeah.
diary
Yeah.
thing, Charlie.
Yeah. But I was just telling her the best thing you can do is if you look slightly over everyone's heads, it still looks like you're looking at them. But then you can just perform to a blank spot on the wall, and it's fine. Just don't do that thing that people say that's imagine everyone naked, because that doesn't help, especially if they're attractive. 'cause
Yeah, I
then
was
you
gonna
just
imagine
get
that's the
flustered.
worst thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very
That sounds
distracting.
quite a time-consuming activity to look at everybody and be like, "That's what you don't like naked. That's what you don't like naked."
Yeah. Brown nipples are
definitely.
pink, you know.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
who's gonna have burger nips? Who's gonna be like other ones? It's just a nightmare.
Now I'm self-conscious and feel weird now.
Don't worry, we're not imagining you naked.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
just saying, don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
Don't do that, please.
Tips for performing people. Don't
This is
imagine
this
people.
is how not to do it. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
exactly how
What
not
you're
to
what
do
you're
it.
getting now, not how to
But also,
perform.
like one of the Callum's friends actually, they go to BIM and they came down to open mic night, and one of them was saying, I was like, "Did you guys enjoy it?" And he said it was really, really wonderful. I would definitely come again, because he's like, it was such a supportive group. Everyone claps, everyone's like cheering, laughing for you,
Yeah.
and you, however nervous you are, you do come off feeling.
Like you've achieved something.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing
Yeah.
of you have this build up of feeling nervous about it, and then you perform. And for me, I don't know if it's the same. For about 10 minutes, I'm like I'm not happy, and then you kind of like then you go, actually no, I feel good for performing. But there is a bit when you come off stage, I don't immediately feel good. I have to kind of like
yeah,
When
no,
I
it's
sit
like
chill
down
a
and
little
like,
bit.
my heart's
from-
racing, then I'm like, ooh,
There we go.
adrenaline rush.
I think also it goes so fast when you're on stage.
Yeah.
It goes really, really quick, and if you're not prepared for that, you can sit down and be like, oh, what was that? What happened?
yeah.
So you have to kind of...
But
It's a great way to get your
definitely- I was,
confidence
like,
up about
yeah.
public speaking in general.
And the reason I went in for the first time, I was like, I'm never really going to get a chance to do this sort of thing again. It's such like a uni activity. It's going to an
I
open
don't
mic.
know. We get
Well,
Well,
lots
no,
of
not like,
people in.
yeah, but I kind of like time where you would,
You want to kind of develop
It's-
it.
yeah, like it takes like, it's hard to say, like people who do open mic nights, like around in pubs and stuff, like they're often a bit more, not serious.
I know what you mean.
You
I
get a
know
bit,
what
I
you mean.
find like the people a bit more intimidating. Like, we went to the short story slam, and he was like, the woman who won was like twice his age, and he was like, she was really amazing, and I just felt shit for going.
No, it's that kind of thing. It's a gentler introduction, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind
a
of
really good way to ease you in.
yeah, because you look around the room and you see a bunch of people, quite a lot of people. Every time we've done it, like someone new's perform,
Yeah.
I think, and then you see them and you just like you see them kind of like worrying about it. But there's other people there who are also performing for the first time, and they sort of you're like, oh well, at least I'm not the only one. Because I think there's this weird perception people have that if you're not comfortable on stage, it's because it's your problem rather than I don't think anyone is comfortable on stage. I think you just get used to handling it. Some people do like it. TK.
Well, like I said, I still get nervous. Once I'm up there,
Connor
though,
likes
I
it.
like it.
Connor likes
Yeah,
it.
you look like you're enjoying it. Like,
Yeah.
have
I
fun
hit,
with
I
it.
hit a groove around about like sort of 20 minutes in. I start to feel like, okay, this is my space, and I can work this.
I say it's
Yeah.
one thing I always notice with you. The way when you introduce, you do look a bit like more nervous, and then later in the night, you're just walking around with the wireless microphone, going, "Hello, everyone." Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Maybe
It takes
the
some
rum
time.
shots is going around.
Well, usually I have a I have a small drinky, a little drinky beforehand, which sort of takes the edge off.
Yeah.
Not I'm advocating that as a strategy,
I
by the
had
way.
4 G&Ts double.
Yeah,
It's
before I
an
went
effective
on.
strategy.
It works. Like, I find that, you know, the Rapper's Delight poem that I can't go through. I performed that not at an open mic night in like a real manly pub, sat around a table because someone like said, I was talking about the fact that I'd struggled to get through a poem, and they were like, oh well, do it. I drank like four or five pints or something. I was like, yeah, well, we're going then. I just got through the whole poem. Sat with people who don't like poetry. I was like, there you go.
Well, I think it's the thing of making sure that your groove. Like I get into a performance groove where I'm in the right headspace now, and I know the stuff and I can just do it.
Yeah.
I think it's doing stuff to get yourself there before you actually go on stage. Like for me, like yesterday, I listened to loads of music by people who make me work. So I was like getting there beforehand, and it kind of sort of dipped by the time I had to do the train and stuff and get in, but picked up.
Okay, and I think on that we're going to end that for the first half of the podcast. Your musical entertainment this week is Drunken Poets Society. Woo. And that is, I know it's my pronunciation, that's Drunken Poets Society with the apostrophe in there. It is a society for drunken poets, not a society of drunken poets.
It's still just one guy.
Yeah, it's still just one guy. It's a very small society.
It's the most elite society we have.
Yeah, honestly, it's very exclusive.
Yeah, it sounds very VIP.
And his song Armadillo. So enjoy that, and we'll be with you in the second half.
1, 2, 3, and. I'm an armadillo, weeping on your pillow. You're a weeping willow, waiting for the wind to blow. In dreams serene, we might
welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that song. I know we all did at the open mic night last night. That's why it was the choice for me. It's actually really enjoyable last night.
I like that song. I think I might have heard it before.
Yeah, I think he might have played it at another open mic night because he had the extended set, but really late last time.
Yeah, that was the last
kind of-
one. But no,
that's-
it's
yeah.
a good little song.
And he was really weird because you know they had 2 amps set up. The bigger one was actually a bass amp.
Ooh.
I didn't know this until Michael told me it was a bass amp. And he plugged in his guitar and he was playing Armadillo, and he's just got this really like heavy overtones to it. It's like I really liked it. I was like, I think it was slightly deeper than he meant it to be, but it's like more rock and roll, I thought. Yeah. Right, so we obviously, with the last couple of podcasts, we've done a sort of discussion in the second half. This one was started by TK. So actually, before we do this, I do have to apologise because last time I'm pretty certain I said next time we will discuss this. I just can't remember what it was.
Did we say
Obviously-
something? I don't remember saying that.
Send all complaints to Kiefer Holland because it's his
The
fault.
thing is, I'm just gonna. I say this now, and I hope I don't hurt you. I don't think we have enough listeners for anyone to actually.
I actually officially
I'm
discovered we
gonna-
have a listener.
We have a listener.
Her name's India, and she's in my Creative Rank course.
Oh, India's been listening.
India. Yeah, I know
She's
India.
lovely.
Yeah, she's
Cool.
pretty-
So
Talk
sweet.
to me about
She
stuff we
was,
talk about.
Big
Yeah.
shout out to India.
Yeah.
She was telling me.
Our number one fan.
And Tom Orpen, he listens.
Yeah, 'cause she was talking
Thank
about
you for caring.
my diary reading the open mic night, and I was like, you watch the open mic nights? And then found out she watches them all.
Oh, that's lovely.
Hi,
I'm
India.
I really like. I mean, I
Hey.
enjoy making this stuff. It's good to have do
It's
it, but
really
it's
fun.
really nice. It's really kind of rewarding if people are actually listening to
Yeah.
it as well.
Also, my mum listens. Shout out, Debbie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big shout out to
Yeah.
Debbie in Essex.
Yeah.
So we're having a conversation about being northern.
These northern monkeys,
During the
I can't do anything with them.
Myself and Alex.
legend.
You might
We've got
have
London
different
accents
accents,
over
but
here,
we're
like-
actually both from Manchester. So I've just spent longer in the south, but it's quite a funny subject for people who have lived in the north and moved south.
Well, this was the first day when I went to see Alex in Manchester. It's just me and Sam in the bar, like, we got like 3 doubles and 3 shots, and they were like £8, and I was like, what?
What?
And then I was like, oh, they're just fucking southern, and I was just like,
You
are you
were,
serious? So I was like,
you were already
What's
pissed
the
like this
catch?
is not real. It's
I was
not
just like, what is
Yeah,
this?
it is.
Putting
It,
in
it is
42s.
true. The stereotype is true. Stuff is a lot cheaper.
It
in
makes
the
Yeah.
north.
you wince
Yeah.
price of drinks down here.
Luckily, I haven't actually had to do it like a shop in the north, in the north, and then come back down south for a while. But I do go if I go into a shop in the north. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. This is so cheap.
Innit? My mum buys me care packages, and I'm like, good, because I don't want to buy tea at fucking Aldi. Even down here, I don't trust it.
Really?
For some reason, I don't trust it. I feel
Right,
like it's
really
gonna be
high.
more expensive down south.
It
It won't be. It won't be.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Makes
moved
no
to Brighton
sense.
from London, so it's like.
Yeah. There's one thing you don't have in the south that we have in the north. I don't know if they've moved down yet, but I checked it a couple of years ago. Home bargains.
Yeah, your home bargains, mate.
Home bargains.
Pretty sure we
there
have
was,
that on
there was
our
I've
none,
got
London
one in
Road.
Essex.
there wasn't any.
Yeah,
There wasn't in
fucking
Sussex.
shop.
Any in Sussex like a year or two ago, and I went to the north with someone. I was like, took them in home bargains. She was just like what is this? I was
It's amazing.
everything is so cheap.
It's insane getting like to sell such random stuff as well.
Yeah, but Tiger though.
Tiger is like
Tiger's good.
yeah, it's
Tiger's
good,
like
but it's
Christmas
Tiger is
present
good.
central.
Yeah,
It's
at
like
Christmas
an
that place
amazing.
packed. It
it's
makes
like
you
a
hate
weird
everyone.
sort of like strange kind of small
Like
IKEA.
dinky
Yeah,
Essex.
it
it's a
is.
mini
IKEA
IKEA.
that sells
It is.
Oh
like
God, I love
more-
IKEA.
IKEA is good.
I love IKEA so much.
Except the only problem with IKEA is the size, because it feels like a bit of a hellhole once you're lost in there for too long.
No, it's
Which
exciting.
Tiger?
It's
Okay.
like so many wardrobes to hide in.
the stuff around
And then
every
you
corner.
nick the little pencils, and you've got loads of little pencils.
There we go, IKEA. If you're wondering where all your pencils are going, Alex
Alex
Hall as a mole. There we go.
I
Right.
regret nothing. you can arrest
You
me.
you pencil maverick.
Right.
So TK's decided. I suggested, and
just-
we've agreed. I'll not say you just
Yeah.
decided to do it. But yeah, TK, you're.
Well, well, I was having this discussion in my poetry, on my poetry module about the idea that sometimes poems, or sometimes a bad poem can sound halfway decent when you perform it, and that maybe the whole performance thing, sometimes distracts from mediocre poetry. Do you think that's a thing?
I think,
Discuss, guys.
I think that's both ways, though. I think some good poetry doesn't sound good performed. Once again, we go back to my deep love of Geoffrey Hill. it's literally the only time I've ever heard that sound good is when Richard's read it. Because Richard can make anything
Richard
emotional.
could read a phone book.
Yeah, and literally it was
And
like,
we would want to listen to it.
David
But that's
Charleston.
the point,
These are
isn't
things
it?
I find a lot of, if the like the author of the poems has an accent, like what's his name, Danny
Boyle?
I've forgotten his name.
That's all right.
He's
that's
a little
all right.
Welsh
I
guy,
wanna see
and
Danny
he writes
Boyle read some
wonderful
poetry.
poetry about Wales and whatnot. But I always liked it. And I heard him say it, and it's like gorgeous little Welsh voice, this little old man. I was just like, oh my god, these poems are so sweet and like touching.
Well, there is something about voice, isn't there, that's integral to a poem
Oh yeah.
anyway.
And we've talked about rhythm before as well. It's that kind of way, just if there are certain stresses at certain points and you just can't.
I think it also depends on the person. Like, cause like
Some
for
people
some
have a
people,
feel
the
for it, some
human
people don't.
voice is so like. Obviously, we are naturally prone to react to the human voice. And you hear a lovely voice, listening to a lovely thing, you just instantly relax and soothe. But someone may prefer to read something and have it very intimate moment.
So, question: do you prefer listening to poetry or reading it? Gun to your head. You can only do one for the rest of your life.
When I read poetry, I tend to read it out loud.
Yeah.
So
I do that with
listen anyway.
anything that's like bigger than a sonnet. I kind of have to because I stop following it.
Exactly.
I-
So I just get bored.
Yeah, Wordsworth. Like I have to read it. I can't. It just doesn't go in.
Yeah, basically.
But
So for pure enjoyment, it would be listening, because it's just like, I was finding when you're at uni and stuff, because you know you're going to analyse it afterwards, so you're like, oh my god, I really need to listen. When you're just letting the words wash over you, it's like, oh, this is pretty, this is nice.
I do. I'm an avid listener to this YouTube channel called Button Poetry. It's an American thing, and they have it on.
Yeah,
I've sent you a couple of videos from it before, but
no, I've subscribed to them as well.
I had the playlist, and actually something quite funny happened with this the other day. As when I'm doing stuff in my room, like hanging up washing or putting stuff away, I put up the playlist on of the like videos, and the other one, you might not know that people have given me a nickname of Chief Keef because it rhymes and it's convenient. There's also a rapper called Chief Keef. I had this playlist going on in the background, and like someone
on SBTV?
someone went on, someone came on and poem. It's just like I was facing the other way. Went to Chief Keef, and I was like, what? And then it was a poem just basically dissing Chief Keef, the rapper. It's really funny.
Yeah, he's got
I
those
have
bad
put it on the
rep, I
Facebook
believe.
group, to be fair. If you want
Yeah,
to,
rap and poetry are like, for me, the same.
it's the same thing.
It's brilliant.
It does depend on who's bringing it out, though.
Yeah.
I was forced to watch Flick of the Wrist the other day. It's just boy going, look at the Flick of
that's
the
not
Wrist. And I was like, this
poetry.
is not fucking poetry. This is bullshit. Look at you going,
It's not good.
spinning his. Literally in the videos, all he's doing is just twisting his wrists on top of a roof, and that's it for 3.5 minutes.
That video that I think you posted maybe, and it was like a poetry rap battle that me, you, and Callum discussed on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
That was sick.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
That was really good.
It's a kind of it was
It's
a
kinda
sort of a mock video. Like they were taking the piss a bit. They had 3 rappers, I think it was, and they were in a studio in, I can't remember where it was, but they were talking about it, and they had 2 rappers go on, and they just did these really they were doing rappers doing poetry, I think.
Yeah.
And these 2 rappers did these quite bad poems, and then this guy comes
They'd
on.
written or they recited
They
it?
would say 10 minutes, and this guy comes on and he does a poem about growing up in New York, I think, or something like that. And he just
basically says it like a rap.
but absolutely just smashes
Kills
it. Like
it.
he really is like incredible. The boundary between rap and poetry is really close. And one of the people,
I think it's
like,
just subject matter.
But then there's poetry that really like has to be on the page because of how it falls, doesn't it? It's a spectrum, like the
yeah,
spoken word stuff. I always think of as one side of a spectrum, and the other side of a spectrum is like word art.
there is stuff
Yeah,
like
because you
that.
get like, who's that guy that wrote that really famous poem? This is awkward. I'm not gonna remember his name until I'm in the shower,
Okay.
and it'll be. But
More details? More
Like the
details?
exhibit
It's
that
like a
I
circle.
curated recently at Grand Parade, which by the time this goes out will be down. So that was pointless. But
Ginsberg structures poetry really, really weird, really, really abstract. And I think maybe that's what you mean by word art. Sometimes,
yeah, or like
legitimately,
the
they look like
Black
something.
Mountain poets. Those who have been looking at, or like lots of sort of avant-garde people who do interesting things with words on a page.
Yeah.
And that's also a different kind of
Yeah, when you get to your
That's
school,
another-
they're like, look how it's laid out. Look at these things. Look at the caps. Like,
I remember reading a poem when I
Look at the
was
gaps.
really, really small, and it was about a snake, and it shaped like a snake,
Yeah.
and I thought that was cool. I
Yeah.
still do, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, quite a lot
I've just written one like that called Ebb and Flow, and it's supposed to look like the shape of it is supposed to ebb and flow on the page like a sort of graph, and it
Cool.
took flipping forever because every time I got the words right, I was like, oh, that word is like a letter too long and it protrudes in an awkward place. I need to fix that. It took so long to
but
kind
are
of.
you proud of it?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Title's a bit rubbish.
What, ebb and flow?
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit of a
What about
rubbish title.
fluctuations?
Maybe. That's a good one.
Don't know.
Maybe I'll play with that. I'll let it sit, Matt.
Yeah.
I'll see if
Look at
I'll
that.
see if I vibe with it.
Cool. Go for it, man.
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys are the same. But if I write anything to be read out, no, I just write anything for someone else to read. Even if they're reading it in their head on a page or anything like that, I spend so long looking at the words and thinking, how can I make them read this how I want them to? And it is, I know it's sort of unfortunate, but it's as far as punctuation and line length and everything,
Yeah.
and
You're
points where I want
leading-
them to pause and everything. Quite a lot of time I'll cut my lines into words because I want them to go duh, 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 duh. I want them to slow down. I think there's always a chance where someone's reading a line where they go duh, 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 duh. It's like, no, I want you to take that a bit more slowly.
That's interesting.
So I do spend a lot of time thinking about it. I think it is there's a
So that's
Jeffrey
the
Hillier
two
thing.
working in harmony then, really, isn't
Yeah.
it? Or well,
It's because I think a lot of people, when you read it on the page, it's if you've written something to be read off a page, it should also be able to be spoken. I think it should have the same ability.
Oh, okay.
We used to say there's two spectrums. Does
Because we're
the
talking about
poem need to
poetic.
encompass both
If it-
spectrums?
Yeah.
That's
That's-
it.
that's
We
the
just
concept.
did. The university has this. I think they call them research modules or nodules or something called Contempo, which is part of like a three. It's us. It's the University of Bangor and the University of Aberystwyth. We just did like an avant-garde poetry thing, masterclass, and the poet that we were talking about at Brighton was this woman called. I'm going to do this now. I can say this name. I can do it. She was called the Baroness Elsa von Freytag-Loringhoven.
Well done, you.
And but the really interesting thing about her poems is that they were like images. They were just images
Yeah.
with words in places, and you had to make judgment calls about because then some of us had to read them out
Yeah.
over the video link. And it was a really interesting process making the judgment calls about how you would read out something that is essentially an artwork
Yeah, it's just a.
that has words in it.
What's the one with the this? I can't remember. It was in one of the anthologies or not an anthology. Looking at it, it's just like literally, it was a picture of like a window, and it just literally around it, it just said door, 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 or window, 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 window. It's just one word all the way around. They sort of structured it. And I was just looking at it. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I consider that. I consider that a form of. It is a form of poetry because you're playing with words, I suppose. But it's like, what do you define as poetry itself? Because
Well,
yeah, if you talk about it, it does
Hitting on
become
the
like
heavy
that. Yeah.
topics right
It
now.
is really one of those things. Like it is an art form, but is that art form poetry?
Yeah, so
It's
a piece
word
of
art, but is it poetry?
yeah. I think I had this discussion with someone recently. I think what we hit on was that it's art that has some relation to the words.
Yeah. But I think someone needs to kind of, because isn't there a term for that, concrete poetry or something like that? I can't remember. They have all these. They give a billion definitions to what poems are. You have free verse, rhyme, traditional, and obviously then you go sonnets and quatrains and that kind of stuff. And then you have like things that come out like found poetry. Found poetry I do find interesting.
What is found poetry?
Basically, you take a book and you look at one page or a couple of pages on it, and then you select certain words and certain lines, and you make a poem out of the words on the page. So you've essentially found poetry within a book. One thing I don't like about this is so often people actually like scroll out the lines that they don't want, that they draw, and I'm like, that ain't cool. That's not okay. That's not,
It's very
But
disrespectful.
I'm pretty sure that comes from people doing found art objects like
Yeah.
the urinal and
The
that kind of
urinal,
thing.
Wait, what?
I can't remember who that is.
That was Duchamp.
Yeah.
Presented a urinal as a sculpture.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It's not a fucking sculpture. It's not a sculpture when you can see it in a Weatherspoons. Like, any time of the week.
There we go. That is.
But his thing was just like, I'm putting it. If I put it in an art gallery, does it make it art?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, I remember one year I went to the Tate and there was legit a mirror. On
I
canvas.
went. I
I've
saw
seen
that.
that. I
Yeah.
think that's really fun.
It wasn't framed. It didn't have a name. It just had some pretentious paragraph next to it, like the
You are
the
art.
notion of the reflection
No,
transcending
but
reality.
that was taking the piss though.
It had to be.
I looked
fucking
at
had to
it,
be.
I read that paragraph and I was like, you know exactly what you're doing
Yeah,
there, don't
you're
that's-
like, right, I've
that's-
got a spot in the Tate. How can I take the piss?
I love
I'm gonna
a
go
sarcastic
IKEA and I'm
artist.
gonna stick it in
You,
there.
you would do that though. If you had like an exhibition at the Tate, you would put one thing in that was just too far, deliberately, just
What,
to
just
see.
like a light bulb on,
Yeah.
on like a plate.
I'm pretty certain someone's
But
probably
then, you
done
know,
that.
sometimes these things really work. Like the Marina Abramovich, her work, I really find really cool. And she doesn't do, like she's the most famous thing she's done is The Artist is Present, where she just sat in an art gallery and people came up and sat across from her for a certain amount of time and she just was present with them. And there's a video on
Did she
YouTube.
speak with them?
No, she just looked at them. She just looked them in the eye, and like she did some like it was really weird. People like had these like massive reactions where they sort of some people could not stop laughing, some people could not stop crying. Like
That is
Yeah, that's
art.
it. Yeah,
It's provocative and it's not.
But she did another one a couple of decades ago, where she was in an art gallery. I think it's similar to the thing Shia LaBeouf did recently, where she was in an art gallery and she laid out a bunch of objects,
Oh,
including
this-
a gun.
Is this the one where she got hurt doing that? Didn't
Yeah.
she? She got really hurt.
Wait, what?
And
What
she
happened?
said you can, and she basically
Wait,
threw
I
her
think
arms
I
open
heard
and
about
trusted
this.
people.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was
And
disturbing.
yeah, and it didn't. It's
What happened
terrifying
to
that
her?
someone didn't someone just go in and attack her or something.
I
like
think.
that? Yeah,
Fucking hell.
and it's like you think that's not.
I'm not sure. Did she?
I don't think that's art. I don't think it. I think it's a little bit gimmicky. It's
but-
interesting as like a psychological study, but
yeah,
it's
performance
not art.
is a real. It's a real.
Well,
It's a real grey
It is
area.
a grey area.
What
isn't
is
it?
it?
what
Like we saw.
what makes it not art? I'm playing
I think
The
devil's
fact that it
advocate.
happens on the street.
Well, it was in the gallery.
I know, but like out of
Oh,
that
okay.
context,
When putting it in a
it happens.
gallery-
People get attacked.
Mm.
It's not art. It's news.
Yeah.
It's depressing. And it
But she
shouldn't
wasn't
really
just sitting
be
there to.
celebrated
She
as
wasn't just
art.
sitting there to get attacked. She was giving you
Yeah,
the
she was
objects and giving you
saying-
the choice.
It's like it's a
The idea
psychological
was-
study,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I,
And also,
I
if
think,
you're
I don't
like
think
in
it's
like
art.
if you go
Can I
ancient
not-
Greece, like
Can something
art.
not be both?
Yeah,
I think
art
it-
is meant to be cathartic. Having someone, like say someone, if there was a knife before, he just sliced her hand open. His experiencing something that might be cathartic for him, and her art made that happen.
I don't think it's art.
Or pick up these objects and doing something with them.
I think there's a curiosity and a
Process.
happiness that should come from art, but complete freedom in a space like that shouldn't be, you know, an art piece. I think it's an opportunity to make art, but obviously some people are
Yeah.
gonna go and take it too far.
I
But
think that was her concept going into it. I think didn't she want them to give her the objects in a certain way or sort of turn her into an art piece, basically.
I can't quite
see something
remember
along those
the
lines.
philosophy behind it.
Yeah, the Shia LaBeouf thing. I'm glad you point out. I hate the stuff he's been doing recently.
what has he been doing besides being in that weird video with Saya?
Well, he
Sia?
See ya.
he turned up to one movie launch. He was on a panel, and he quoted Eric Cantona, basically, and walked off. The quote means nothing. It meant nothing when Eric Cantona said it. It means nothing now. It's something about like following a fish trawler.
Right.
Something like, it doesn't make any sense. The other thing he did, he turned up to another movie launch with a bag on his head, a paper bag, and says, "I'm not famous anymore," written on the front of it.
No, yeah, well, that was part of the project he was doing that was sort of Marina Abramovich-esque. Everyone's
And
like,
it was nonsense. It was nonsense. And then he went to that was the art gallery thing where he sat in an art gallery in some weird American town. I can't remember what it was. And people just queued up for hours, just go in, and he just sat there and looked at them. He had a bag on his head, and they could take the bag off and look at him.
well, no, but they could do, the idea was the same, that they could do anything they wanted to him,
Yeah.
which someone did. Someone raped him while he was doing
Are you
that.
joking me?
No, I did not hear about that.
No, I didn't.
I did
hear
not
about
know that.
Yeah. That was why it was a huge controversial thing because Piers Morgan decided to weigh in And
Why
obviously
would
he was
Piers
the lovely,
Morgan get
he was the
involved?
lovely, warm, compassionate person we all know Piers Morgan to be
Yeah, a
in
lovely
that
bloke.
situation.
Little weevil.
Twat.
But anyway, that was the point of the debate that happened there was, should it still be? People were saying, well, he said you can do anything you want to me because I'm no longer famous. So technically, he was giving consent for anything that happens in that space by putting up that sign. And if they didn't want someone to do that, they should have put up a sign that says you're not allowed to do that. So it became this whole conversation about, you know,
That's a
the
really moral
idea of
conversation.
implicit consent and that kind of thing. And I was like, well, to be honest, I'm not a performance artist, but I do work that I hope causes exactly those kinds of conversations.
You
So
want-
I'm
you
just-
want a
Simon is
conversation to
he's a
form,
really
but-
interesting guy. Like, I really enjoyed his performance in those music videos he was in. Doing this, like, it's so weird, like, you grew up with him being like this guy on
Transformers,
TV,
Cheap
and then now
Holes.
he's
Holes.
Holes.
yeah, and like you see him doing these sort of pieces because it makes you pay attention because you know him.
I mean, I think some of them are too. It's
I
like
I think
like
he's
they would
finding
they
his
would be
feet.
interesting if it was 20 years ago, but they've kind
yeah,
of been done.
he's a little bit like cringy occasionally. Like, I can't say I'm a big Shia LaBeouf fan. Of like, but I've always liked the music videos because I think that little girl's like amazing. But
Well, the dancing
seen
one
that
is a good video. It's
yeah, it was
really,
just this is a dance piece. Like, it's a
Yeah.
fucking
It was
amazing
just odd
dance.
seeing it.
it
It was weird seeing it on a like Viva.
yeah.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it doesn't
like
seem
in the
like the
same
sort of
league as like a Kesha video
Yeah.
that would just pop on afterwards, and it'd be a bit surreal because it's
I think
completely
it's what
different.
C is aiming for.
Be a bit not
Because
prepared.
I found out the concept behind the video, and it's meant to be the little girl is his inner child,
That makes more sense.
and
That-
that's why she's like jumping on top of him, like fighting him because he's having this battle with his inner child.
Oh, I thought it was like a father-daughter thing.
Yeah, and then when she leaves the cage, his inner child's leaving him, but he can't go. But she's going. He kind of
So
frees
like
his inner
growing
child.
up and stuff, or-
Yeah, it's really interesting. I read about it actually. I was just like, oh, because I was like, what does this mean? I was like, and then I read it up and I was like, that's actually, I can see that. It's pretty profound. But she's a good girl.
We tangented, didn't we?
I,
We
that's
cut the
that's
bridge.
why I
Maybe
find we're still in
can.
the performance
Yeah,
area.
but I do think that's like there's something, or those things spark discussion in a way that if he'd just written a book, the discussion wouldn't have been so charged.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really respect the lengths that people go to spark a discussion these days. Like, legitimately, there has to be violence or rape or sex for it to get talked about.
You're
Is that-
playing with
I don't-
people's moral
Yeah,
values.
is
I
that
don't
just
like
art?
it.
Like, but the
Is
thing
that a problem with the society
Yeah,
or the?
I was gonna say.
art?
There's probably a problem that I have with society in general, but generally
I
I,
mean,
don't
just-
like it. I mean, we shouldn't really be glorifying things that happen to people in across the world daily as art.
But at the
just
same
'cause we're
time,
over here.
don't we have to talk about it in art somehow?
Yeah, definitely, but I don't think things should actually happen to people. But for
Yeah.
example, when were you there?
What, into your live whipping?
Yeah, and I came to yours afterwards.
You can be, yeah.
Completely shaken up because basically there was a live whipping at the first year art exhibition, and I was looking around and stuff, and it was all right. And then all of a sudden, everything gets really intense. Everyone starts gathering around this block. Guy walks up on the block, shirt off. Some guy walks on with glasses. He's got like a bullwhip. He's got like goggles. And then some people leave, and I'm stood there like, what the fuck? Did not get told about this. And you lashed at him once, and that sound
Yeah.
was so loud. And then I clocked that the reason why he had goggles on was for blood splatter. And I was like, this is freaking me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stay, but other people were ready to watch. Someone burst into tears, and I was a little bit like, how the fuck is this art? Felt very, very weird afterwards.
So do you think art needs to feel good at some point?
Yeah, I feel like it should be a positive
Oh my
experience.
god, no way.
I mean, I think it should be. I mean, we read enough stuff that depresses me
Yes, but you get both emotions.
I feel like it's important to address these things in art.
Well,
but I
like
don't think
Plato
some
used
guy
to
should
think
stand
that
up,
if
get
you
whipped and be like,
watch a
"Look at me, I'm
play
an
where
artist."
someone's getting murdered, someone's getting like killed, and it's sad and it's this, you get that anger out your body, you get this out your body, you get this out your body, and you come out of it a better citizen.
I think we're desensitised, and that's why people want to see this stuff.
I think, yeah, there's one thing as well I've sort of found, like, come across recently, is quite a lot of the time I do write occasionally quite dark stuff.
Yeah.
But what I do get a certain kick out of writing something which starts dark and ends uplifting, or has a dark theme and ends with a solution. Because quite a lot of the time I'm tempted to do the sort of like, oh, well, drop it, it's just what it is what it is. But I do occasionally get a kick out of, like, positive endings.
Well, I quite like giving people strategies.
Yeah.
Like, I like to give an audience or a person strategies to cope with darkness. I think that's the thing I like to do in my art. But I only do that because I've read or seen like Sarah Kane and all these really horrible, brutalist things. The only reason I have had to develop strategies is because artists have just said, look, this is a thing, go. So I think that it becomes like a...
Yeah. Do you think...
It feeds onto something.
Do you think maybe it's like sort of a thing that needs to happen where the art did have that stage where it sort of became brutalistic and it appeared like the sort of shock factor. I can't remember what that theatre movement was called.
People called it all sorts of
Theatre of
things, but in your face, theatre
in
of
your
cruelty,
face,
that kind of thing.
And sort of like maybe there is sort of a movement past that now, where we can kind of go, maybe we you start to have to become sort of a world citizen and kind of go, well,
You have
this
to say-
exists.
You need to accept responsibility
Yeah.
for the costs of producing that kind of stuff. It will always be fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't have curiosity towards these darker aspects of literature, because it's really, really, really interesting.
And it does need to be talked about.
It does need to be talked about, but I don't think we should be...
You don't think we should stop there? We need to
We need to basically
push into-
progress, because we can't just be like, look at this guy bleeding on a block, woohoo, arcs, staff, there's no strategy, solution, it's just violence.
But that is an important step, I think, because you have to, because people are desensitized, you have to say,
You need
look at
abject
this
horror.
thing, look at it, and don't dismiss
For example,
it
if you
right
watch,
away.
when you
Look
watch
at
shows
it
like
and-
African adverts on TV for like starving children, you kind of like, nah, change channels. If one showed up on your fucking doorstep, you would send anything over, because you'd just be absolutely
At
horrified.
the end of the day, this guy's asking to get whipped. I didn't feel sorry for him. I just felt disgust that I was there.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing you want. You kind of that thing of, if you see someone, especially in that kind of situation of sort of oppression and degradation, you kind of want there to be ascension afterwards. A sort of like, not revenge. I'm very anti-revenge. I don't particularly like that as a concept. I don't like how, as a culture, we're very much attuned to. We are very vengeful. We're still very eye for an eye.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
But it's like you want to see that guy if he's done for that. You want to see the
You want to
afterwards.
see people survive.
I want
a
to
meaning.
see survivors rather than victims.
Yeah.
So like, let's give an example of like one of the poems I wrote recently for NaPoWriMo. It's like it's about sort of time and how like time running out in your life. And I think the last line of the poem is, I know time will get me eventually, but it will have to kill me first.
Yeah. But I think
that for me is a very positive lens to a poem.
I think one of the great things that art can do is make us sit with discomfort and victimhood before doing anything, because otherwise I think, and I have to be very, this is a line I toe in my theatre work, is I don't want it to, you can't make redemption too easy, because then it's not real.
No, I
Then
think
it
redemption has to be
feels
hard.
unfair.
So you don't want it to be a passive process.
Yeah, I don't want to shy away from the fact that horrible things happen and they're horrible.
Yeah.
And I think most of us can just leave the room or walk out or turn the TV. I think
You want the
it's important
experience.
for people to experience the thing before you tell them.
The
If you're,
solution.
yeah, I want to talk about horrible stuff, and I don't just want to say it's
And
horrible.
also
I
it
want to
makes
say
you
you
like
can survive it.
appreciate your own shit. Like so many people these days have like anxiety issues and stuff like that, and you would consider problems not like, I know a lot of girls back home kind of like mad anxiety attacks, and you'd be like, you don't have any problems. Like, not like
Well, apart from anxiety disorder.
yeah, from anxiety disorder. Yeah, but I'm like, because I always found like with my sister especially, she'd get really anxious, and then she started like met some other people from different backgrounds and cultures and found out about they had these awful things happen to them. She had like a friend called Blessing, some like terrible things happened to her, and she's just stopped being anxious because I think she's just like, oh, why am I being so like mixed up about these things? Like I'm worrying about these things so much, and this poor girl, like she's doing exactly what I'm doing. She had all of this. That is kind of like
I think you
opens your mind a little bit.
Right.
I think there's a line between eye-opening and just provocative for the sake of it.
Well, yeah, a first year grad show where they're
Basically.
getting whipped is just to be arsey.
Exactly. It took
Yeah.
it
That's
took the
the
piss. I
problem.
was
Yeah, our
like,
mate Hannah does. She's at Grand Parade, and she says all the performance art guys are absolute wankers.
Okay.
That was
I'm
not,
But
that's
if
not,
you're
that's
listen-
not representative
except the
of the
people who
entire
are
lecture
listening.
society.
No,
We're
no,
friends
right,
with
okay.
the art people.
And that is just one person's opinion.
Yeah,
I do not
we're-
commit.
we don't condone it. Opinions, all opinions are their own.
Exclusive
okay.
to those who said that.
Just quickly before we end, did you want to plug?
Yes, I'm doing a fringe show. If you are,
Oh,
Hey,
a
so is my
Brighton
mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is this weekend. It's literally coming up.
/ Monday and Tuesday.
/ Monday and Tuesday,
When's
right?
yours?
Mine is the 19th to the 22nd of May. It's called Three Poets, One Mic. It's at over Broadway, which used to be the 3 and 10 on like at the bottom of St James's Street, behind Poison Ivy. It's going to be poetry, like spoken word. It's me. It's Anthony Lloyd Young, otherwise known to some people as Connor, and Rosie Hess.
You got a sneak peek if you watch
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Open mic from. the
If
other
I
night.
get those videos up in time.
Which of course you will, because
Of course, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Pump out
Productive.
videos.
But come down, we're going to do poetry, and there's going to be.
It was wonderful
Booze and
last
fun.
night.
It
Well,
was
was-
great last night,
Yeah.
so I really would recommend going to see that. And do you want to?
Yeah, my mate.
Sorry, it's £5, £3 concessions.
Okay.
Great, done.
My mate Elliot is coming out from Bristol with her theatre crew. She wrote the play, produced the play. She's not in the play, but all of her theatre people are coming down on Friday. Really excited to have them round from Bristol. And basically, yeah, they've got a spot in the Fringe from Friday till Tuesday, anytime. And I think tickets are £6. Don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I will let people know that are interested. But no, basically, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Really excited to see her, and hopefully everyone should go and see it because she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. One thing I will say is this video probably won't come out before they're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
But, so I apologise.
It
You missed
was-
a great show. It was fantastic.
It was amazing. You should have been there.
Honest, you missed.
You
Unless
missed
you
it
were
out.
there.
It was life. It's life changing. If you went, thank
you-
you for going.
Thank you.
Already thank
It
you.
If
was
you read,
brilliant.
thank you so much.
And I would just like I was going to be bye from the guys in a second. I know I'm going to call this podcast "Everything Will Be Okay." After that, it will be fine.
That's actually what my name means.
Is that what you know?
Wait,
Tanaka
what?
means everything will be okay.
Really?
Okay, there we go. It'll be called Tanaka. Everything will be okay.
That's
That is it.
beautiful. What language is that in?
It's Shona. It's a Zimbabwean language.
Okay. So it's
Beautiful way to wrap it up.
yeah. It's going to be bye from me. Bye from Alex.
Bye.
Bye from TK.
Bye.
Bye from Kitty.
Bye.
Goodbye. Everything will be okay.